What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? It's your boy Chris Rush. I'm excited to show today. We're going to be talking about fatherhood, talking about a question I put on my Facebook today regarding soft arranged marriages, getting back into the book of King Me, what every son wants and needs from a father, and also talking about the campaign and where we're at and what we're doing. So, thanks for joining us. All hands on deck. Let's get it started.
Now is the time that the church rises up to see the end of abortion.
We've got to make some noise!
How long are we going to wait until we see this injustice taken care of?
We are here! We are here! We are here!
Do you believe we can do this?
Yes, I believe we can do this.
Come on, Mr. Nice Guy.
Welcome, you guys. All hands on deck media. It's your boy Chris Rush. This is the hour, you guys. This is the hour. This is the time. No more talking in circles. No more talking about vain things over and over conversations. What are we going to do about God's heart being slaughtered in the land? What are we going to do about the innocents who have no voice and have no voice, no strength, who are getting slaughtered by the thousands even today? This is all hands on deck. This is not just something that we made up. This is the campaign. This is your hour to rise up and pick up the fight to see abortion end. This is your boy Chris Rush, Mayor Whoville, and welcome to our program. Welcome to the program, All Hands on Deck Media. We're gonna get diving into some things today. Thanks for joining us. Paul is still out. He went to the Philippines a couple weeks ago. He's back, but he's not back in action. So he'll be back. He'll be actually back tomorrow, and so we'll have him in studio and probably for morning prayer meeting. But I want to welcome you guys, All Hands on Deck Media. Your boy Chris Rush, All Hands on Deck. We're here. You could follow us on, if you haven't liked our face page, please do that. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. If you haven't subscribed to the SoundCloud account, do that. We're also on iTunes, so if you have an iPhone and you can subscribe to our show through iTunes and iTunes, the iPod version. What's it called? Podcast, yeah, the podcast. There we're on Stitcher, and so make sure you sign up on those things. Please go also to, let's see real quick if I can pull that up. It always does this when I want to do something, right? Let's just go here. Let's see. It won't cut my voice off. Oh, nope. Please go to allhandsondeckmedia.com, where you can get a free digital copy of our book. So if you haven't got our book, 4 Steps to End Abortion, you could get it there. You could get a free digital copy there. Go to allhandsondeckmedia.com. And if you put your name and email in and subscribe there, you should get a link to a digital copy of the book. If you would like a physical copy, you can easily just go to the website. You can click on, we have a little spot for books. Let's see if I'm gonna find that right. You can find books right there, and then there we are right there. You can buy the book right there. That's just pretty much just a link to the to Amazon right there. So you could go there. Also, if you're just trying to help us with the campaign, All Hands on Deck is a campaign to see abortion end. We want you to get on deck. You could go hit that button right there, the get on deck button, and it will take you to this page where you're able to give a donation. We ask that you guys commit maybe to $10 a month is what we're minimum asking. What we want to do here, what we want to do as part of All Hands on Deck campaign is be a campaign that is full time working on the abolition of abortion, meeting with pastors, doing the pastors luncheon and working with pastors getting engaged in the battle, doing prayer meetings, having concerts and staff and commercials one day. I mean, we really want to be a force to be reckoned with. So it all starts in just even the small ways of you partnering with us here on allhandsondeckmedia.com, going to that page and financially partner so we could keep this movement growing. We want to see abortion end, and the Lord, when He originally told me gave me the word All Hands on Deck, he was telling me that it's treated like a campaign. So we want you guys to treat this thing like a campaign. You can go visit the site here, and all the information is there on allhandsondeckmedia.com. Appreciate you guys so much for doing that. And any other plugs? Because I'll be forgetting all the plugs until after the show. I'll be thinking, oh, I should have said this. I should have said that. So that's where we're at. Well, anyway, I hope you guys' week has been going good. Well. So we didn't have a show last week because I went to go spend time with my son last week on Thursday. But I've been diving into this book, and it's been obviously now 2 weeks since we talked, and I should be done with it, but I'm not done with it. But I'm really far into it. So this is a book I was telling everybody to get King Me. Oh boy, let's see if we can figure this thing out. Wish this thing would stop acting goofy. Okay, there we go. I made it stop acting goofy. Let's see if I could find the picture of the book. Oh, well, I could just find this. So here is King Me. And I guess it's bigger if I hold it up. So maybe not that. So King Me is a book that I really love. It's what every son wants and needs from his father. Have a extremely anointed cover here, and it's just a really awesome book to encourage fathers to mentor their sons and to see them into fatherhood. So it's something that I've been reading and read before I even had sons, because I was definitely a spiritual father to a lot of young guys, and it's just definitely an encouraging book. So I want you guys to get this, and this is what we were talking about last week when we were here. But I don't know if I want to get. I didn't write, in a sense, write any notes because been kind of running around. I've been kind of running around, haven't actually got a chance to write notes. But I thought it'd be good. Maybe we talk about the question I put on my Facebook today, or not so much the question, but what I put on my Facebook today. I was talking about pre-arranged marriages. I said I totally believe in prearranged marriages. I was on Facebook today, and somebody was talking about, like, should families do prearranged marriages, and should they be like held to the letter of the law? I mean, it was the full question was kind of silly, but half the question was right. Like, should families do prearranged marriages? And so I thought that was a really cool, interesting that was a really cool, interesting question. And so I put that on my Facebook. I said I totally believe in soft arranged marriages and plan to walk that out with my royal boys. Please raise your daughters royally. Did I even spell that right? Good, I spelled that. It would be not good if I didn't spell that right. And got some really encouraging. Got some likes going on and got some comments going on, and most people, I guess, if you disagree, aren't going to say anything. But I thought this was really important to talk about. So if you have anything you want to say, I don't see any comments actually coming in, so just see a few people watching. That's fine. If you got any questions or any comments, I'd love to respond to that. But I'll just jump into what I think about prearranged marriages, and then we'll move on from there. But I actually think that, in this culture today, where you're seeing so many people in relationships that are broken, so many people who you probably have, or people who have, or we've probably all been through breakups and makeup and immorality in relationships and all types of craziness, and a lot of stuff that ends up really scarring people for life, and they were never able to get out. They're stuck in a relationship forever, and they're back and forth, and there's never maturity, or at least they go through hell before they finally get their life right into a place where they're in maturity. So I actually think the world, we tried everything. I mean, hasn't everything else been tried? Maybe we should go back to the olden days of, like, maybe some arranged marriages type stuff. Maybe they had something going on. Now it's kind of funny that our only here in the West, our only makeup to that is like, Aladdin or something, where like Princess Jasmine did not want to get married or something. We don't really have too much of a grid of what that's like, but I think it's kind of interesting, because I think that we can avoid and we can help pastor our children into adulthood, into that phase of life, a lot better. I know a lot of people, I seem like, responded saying, I met my wife. One guy said, I met my wife in church, and my mom always knew we were going to get married. We did. Me and my wife we grew up at the same church. So I know there's a lot of that in a weird way already kind of going on by the Spirit. So I'm only highlighting, I think, what's going on by the Spirit, that even in tight-knit families like church families, that there should be a conversation on, like, how we're helping our young people into relationships, not allowing them just to be misguided by their own emotions, or what they think, or what they've seen on TV, or what of how to go about a relationships. So what I think about prearranged marriages is what I mean by that is like what I believe is what I would like to do is you know become friends. So my sons are new adopted kid coming in and he's 10. But my son my flesh and blood kids are 2 and 3. And so I think with them I would love to begin to talk to people, um, talk to families who have kids around their age, right? Have 2 or 3 year olds, right? You kind of paint this vision. You paint this vision of, hey, why don't we over time, make sure we have play dates, make sure our kids know each other, make sure that, as they grow up together and as they get older, we can see whether or not, this they'll be interested with each other. And therefore, I know you as family, they'll know them as family, and then we can kind of help them pick from a pool, right? So if you have a family, like I have a bunch of friends who have girls, right? So if I give them all this vision, then we can all kind of be intentional about just keeping our eye out. And so in even I think painting a picture to your child of like painting a picture to your child like, hey, this is what it looks like when you get married. This is like, they don't know, right? You're the parent, they'll believe in Santa Claus if you tell them. So tell them this is how it is. This is how it works. Baby girl, this is how it works. Well, I'll just make up some name. Ryan and Joseph and Jacob and Jonathan, and them. And she's probably gonna be like, ew, those guys, because she's known them since they were picking their boogers. Right. Yep. And we know their families. So what we're hoping is that, when you're ready to date, maybe you can maybe you can see if any of them are interested. I think it's more so hopefully the guys are pursuing the girls, obviously, right? But we could paint it in the sense of like, or I'll say to my sons, um, son, this is how it's going to work. You're not just going to be dating. That's not going to happen. When I believe that you're ready and when I believe that you're mature enough and God is leading you into in the sense of like dating unto marriage, what I believe is that, you should really consider these families. We've got, I'm going to try my best not to say any families I know. So I'm just gonna, I don't know. I would just say random things. You got the Tree family, the River family, I'm just saying things I'm seeing. The Edwards family, and yeah, yeah. So you got those families. So how about we, look at that. What's her name and what's her name and what's her name, and how about you pray and maybe consider asking one of these girls out on a date and pursuing them. And so through that, they could be like, you kind of narrow it really down, and the families, how these daughters were raised, that there's expectation from the boys, right? So the boys are not out there being players or whatever, right? Because they know the dad of this family, they know the mom, they know people of this family, so they're not going to be goof. What is this going on? Why am I getting a phone call? Can you guys hear this? Hold on, let's see if this works. I'm getting a phone call on Facebook. I've never had that happen. Cortez, is that you? Hello? I don't. Cortez, can you hear me? All right, I don't know if he meant to do that. I don't know if he meant to do that, so we'll have to. I don't know if I ever said call me on Facebook on this thing, but that's all right. We'll figure that out, man. Get to hear from you or see your name pop up. So, where was I? And there's accountability on that end for guys, right? The guys, hey, you can't be a player with the friends of the family girl, right? You can't play games. You're accountable to your dad. You're accountable to that girl's mom and her father, and also to her. And there's an expectation. Plus, you know her, and then you go on a date with her, and or whatever you pursue. You meet. You talk to me as the father. Then I could call the father of this girl. So I don't know if Cortez is watching right now. Cortez, if you're watching right now, I don't know if you're watching right now. How about you message me on Facebook, man? Or I'm not gonna be able to take your phone call like that because I don't think anybody else will enjoy that. So I don't think I could pull it over here on vMix. But anyway, all right. So yeah, my son comes to me. Then I call the dad and I say, hey, Jonah's kind of show some interest in what's her name. We'll love to see if if you think she's ready to maybe dating, pursuing one sense, and then, he talks to her and then they set something up. And you see the accountability there. Then they go on a date. They come back, they debrief with mom and dad and all of that good stuff. And if nothing's on it, if no fire's on it, then, there's no hard feelings, hopefully there's just kind of like, okay, you part ways, but you help guide. I think it's important as fathers and mothers that you help guide, you know what I mean? So I believe that's a powerful way that maybe, you guys out there who may be around my age, who have young kids or whatever, could consider doing, the families that consider that. And it's a soft arranged marriage, right? So there's like a pool of like 5 or 6 or 10 girls in the church circle or family friends, and your son and daughter kind of get to mindset of who they think in that pool will help. And I think that's going to help a lot of people out with that. So I wanted to read this one comment guy said on the Facebook, which was really cool. On the Facebooks. Let's see right here. What did he say? I'm trying to find that real quick. So I was like, dude, I love you so much. He says, my daughters are 8 and 10 and 15. I hate dating. I think it saves their hearts for marriage. I don't think it saves their hearts for marriage. I tell my girls, if a boy is interested in them or they like him, I'd tell me, I'll set it up with his parents and let him spend the day with us on the weekends and go on vacations. That's some investment right there. That way she can really know what he's really all about. Anybody can front for an hour or two on a date. Nah, let him pray with us, play with us, study, and work with us. That way she really knows what she's getting into. Parents help their kids get a car, job, and into college and with a house, but they won't help them with a spouse. So that I felt like that comment was amazing. And I said, dude, I love you so much right now. That is gold. That is some gold stuff right there. So I think that is, I think it's, like I said, soft, obviously, because you're not saying this one person we have just destined for you to marry, you know what I mean? Which, I don't know, but it seems like when those things happen, I don't know. It seems like what I would imagine is that you just learn to love that person. As like my parents pick some girl, I don't know, all right. Yeah, you just learn to love that person. But, if not, and I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying I know that's a little bit too hardcore even for me, but I think that if you have some selecting say. And the reason why I said in the post, about being royal is that me as a Christian, like I want my sons to marry a woman of God, someone who knows God, who knows prayer, who's been shown an example, who's not, crazy, what I'm saying, in different ways. And have that expectation from our sons and saying, hey, you want to find a wife like your mom, what I'm saying, you want somebody who support you, because I plan to raise mature boys, so I don't want you to be yoked with an unmature person. So and the cool thing about that too is that I could call my buddy and be like, hey, he's really I'll just make up some name, he's really interested in I don't know, Sarah, and and dad could be like, I don't think she's ready, man. I don't think, I hope not dad being over, but like, really, I don't know if she's mature, what I mean? Or Sarah's dad called me like, she said she was really interested in your son, Rafa. Like, as his father, man, I'm discerning this is not his season. Just check back in later. He's got some development. And so there could be some accountability of like, son, I think you're not quite ready for that yet. There's some things going on in your life that you should probably solid down before you start relationship, because you want to do it right. Now, no one's going to be perfect or anything like that. So what does crazy mean, Brittany? What do you mean crazy? Is this a crazy concept? It is a crazy concept. It's guiding. It is pretty radical. And I think, like I said, royal in the sense that, there's a difference between, someone raised in church and someone raised in kind of an atmosphere that it's not like you're perfect. Autumn and I we were raised in church, but it was what's really cool out of that relationship is that we had some basic understanding. I mean, we grew up in the same church, same songs. We knew church stuff. Now we weren't like living it out fully, but at all. But we knew each other. We knew we knew the basics and stuff like that. So that there's a place where we were raised in a way that you could say royal in a way, and then our families knew each other. And so that was really cool that our families really were able to mesh super easy because we grew up together. So yeah, any no comments here yet, but that's all right. So before we move any forward, I want to real quick plug our first sponsor of the show, and it is, let's see if I get it up real quick, Smart Web Ninja. Let's get it, baby. Smart Web Ninja. Let's see. Smart Web Ninja is the website that the the company that hosts our website. So they help businesses and organizations by taking in the worry of managing, securing, and maintaining their WordPress based websites. They provide WordPress support, management support programs that include regular updates, backups, securities, monitoring, and threat preventions, email support, lots more than that. They've got different levels of packages. So I suggest checking out Smart Web Ninja if you're thinking about setting up a website with them or setting up a website. They're a great company. Got a friend of mine's, and he's not he's not paying me to do this, but I think I should do this. So check out Smart Web Ninja. Hiya! That's the part he's not paying me to do. Well, he's not paying it anyway. He's just partnering with us, and he's supporting our website, and we're supporting him by promoting Smart Web Ninja. So if you're thinking about doing a website, check them out. My buddy Josh, he'll love. He's got some big clients, man. He's moving up in the world. He's moving up in the world pretty fast. So check him out. All right. What's up, Jordan? What's up, Shell? Now, you guys are, dang, Jordan, this has been a good conversation for you to be part of. Did you miss all of that? Because Jordan's he's got like 100 kids or something. I think, no, I'm just kidding. You got 3 girls? Yeah. You got 3 girls and a boy? So, dang it, man. You missed the whole conversation for pre-arranged marriages. So anyway, check it out later, and love to hear your opinion about it, brah. So, all right. Well, all hands on deck real quick. I just want to, again, for some people who may not know what I was talking about earlier about who we are and what we want to do. We've got this. This is a really important. I just always want to hit on this, is that we've got this book out, 4 Steps to End Abortion. All hands on deck, 4 Steps to End Abortion. Now, this is just extremely important and just extremely groundbreaking for us. It's because, it multiplies the message. It multiplies the message from my lips into your hands. You got to be specific. Brittany, Brittany's on web saying, wow, Chris. Wow, what? There's a delay. I don't know what's wow about. But anyway, so 4 Steps to End Abortion. This is really a really good book. It's about 30. It's not even long. It's like 33 pages long. 33 pages long of the steps to end abortion. This is it, you guys. Here's the 5 little stones, the 5 little weak stones that God has given us. To 4 little stones. The 5th one is love. Someone's Dottie wants us to change this to 5 steps to end abortion. The 5th step is love. But the steps are actually concrete steps. I don't want to say concepts, but love is obviously supposed to be in all the steps. But this is the 5 stones that we're going to sling at the enemy. And I'm telling you guys, buy this like some tracks. If you get a copy, read it yourself, get the digital copy, or email people our website, tell them to get the digital copy. We want to begin to stir people up to see the abortion end. God has a plan. God has an action. He doesn't just sit there and doesn't actually want to see abortion end. He does. And he is, he is zealous to have it done. And we sought the Lord by fasting and praying over years. And here we are with 4 simple steps to end abortion. And so we're asking that you will get this book, that you will support this book. And if you're out there and you're able to financially support, we will love, as a ministry, which we don't have the funds to do, we would love to even buy 300 of these books where we're giving these to pastors and leaders and things like that, so they can begin to get stirred up for the end of abortion, catch a vision for the end of abortion, because it's partially through the pastors and the leaders that we're going to see this thing taken care of. So we truly need this thing to catch like wildfire. And so I'm really encouraged that we were able to pump this thing out, and I think this thing is worth more than its weight in gold, because it doesn't weigh that much, but it's worth more than my weight in gold, and I'm pretty heavy. So please check out All Hands on Deck Media. We are a campaign to see abortion in, and it is that hour to see it in, and we need your support. All right, we need your support. Brittany's on Facebook. She says, "You're serious about prearranged marriages?" Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm serious about who my son's gonna marry, man. I gotta be on that. We're not gonna let that just leave it up to chance. Nah. You ain't bringing no hood rat in my house either. No. All right. It's like, what? Where's your family seal? Who is this girl? No, I'm just kidding, guys. All right. Let's see. I forget where we left off at. Last time we were talking about. We were talking about. We were talking about fatherhood, and you know, I don't really have any notes today, but maybe I'll just touched on this real quick. So some things I just been thinking about with fatherhood stuff is that one thing I think that is definitely needed in your relationship with your kids. Let's see what actually. Let me figure out which chapter I thought was really good, because there's a lot I could touch in this, but I don't want to just be hopping everywhere. Um, Here it is. I think Swift Boots. I don't remember that. Is that discipline? I think we talked about discipline a little bit, but one thing that came to me the other day when I was disciplining my kids is that, as a father, you want your sons to know that you love them. You want to let your kids to love them. But the first kind of like the beginning, what is the beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. The beginning of wisdom is the fear of the Lord. And I will say, even so much in in your father-son relationship, that our hearts are there, but there's so much like hell within children. There's so much like disobedience and rebellion and things within kids, that one of the things that we have to be diligent on is being disciplined and having them have a healthy fear of their parents. One thing I felt like the Lord said to me is like, first, they need to respect you, then they need to fear you, and then they're able to love you. Like, a lot of parents are giving everything to their kids, or trying to get them to love them in certain ways, but they're not having established a level of respect or in a level of fear. So therefore, like, we want love, we want them to love us, and we're showing this gentleness and this love and this compassion when they have like total lack of respect and total lack of fear of our authority. And I just thought that was really interesting, because what's going on in our culture, in the sense of how people view God, is that when you view God, when you don't have respect for God, and when you don't fear God, then you don't really literally appreciate His love. You don't understand like His mercy that He had on you, because the mercy is like He could have sent you to hell. Like, understand the fear and power of the Lord. If you don't respect Him, you don't even begin to have a relationship with Him, because you don't even respect who He is. So how can you love someone you don't respect? So as fathers, we are called to be an example of ones who demand respect, and respect and also and also uh, demand respect, and also for them to have the fear of the Lord with us. I thought it was really interesting when this book was kind of talking about, like, let's see here, fear of the Father, fear of the Father, fear of the Father. Here's a part, I guess, what I was talking about. Um, this okay, so he talks about this chart here. He said this chart will strike fear in the hearts of sons, and this because it demonstrates to him the power that is available to a father. Not follow me Now follow me closely, because the father is the one who has the power to grant privileges and take them away. That brings about a healthy fear of a father. I have no doubt that my dad loved me. He would do anything for me. I knew it in the deepest part of my being. He loved me so much that he would discipline me. He loved me so much that he would invoke appropriate discipline when I misbehaved. My dad was big on follow through, and that's why I feared him. I wasn't terrified of him because I knew that he loved me and would do what was best for me. But sometimes it was the best that I felt certain consequences. That gave me a healthy fear that kept me out of a lot of trouble. It saved me from some bad situation on more one occasion. Your son must have a healthy fear of you and your commitment to doing what is right in his life. It's important because if your son never has a healthy fear of you, he'll never have a healthy fear of God. This is pretty much what I said. And it says Proverbs 9:10, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Wisdom begins with the fear of the Lord. There are all kinds of unhealthy fears in the world, but the fear of the Lord is healthy, life-saving fear. It is an awe and respect for the Lord and his life-giving law. It is a brief in its uh, in the painful consequences when they disobey. A fool ignores the law of God and scoffs at his warning. A wise man fears the Lord and finds happiness in his law. All right. But please pay attention here. Fear of the Heavenly Father begins with a fear of the earthly father. If your son has no respect, I guess I said earlier what the book says. If your son has no respect for you, how is he going to gain respect for God? Whether you wish it or not, you are your son's image of God, and you are the best physical representation of God on the earth. If your son learns a healthy fear of you, then he will surely learn to fear the Lord. All right. And so I love this chart here. Obviously, don't know if I'm going to be able to really show it to you, but it's kind of got like some elevators, like ground one, right? Ground one, it has like a level of freedoms and responsibilities. So some freedoms are like ground one, and then at the bottom it says like state mental hospital or youth prison, and it says like freedoms, no freedoms. The only freedom you have is food, bed, and groom, probably like showers. And responsibility, strictly obey rules and serve discipline. So that's like ground one, right? Ground two, freedoms, phone call once a week, see parents per semester. So this is like military and a youth home. Responsibilities, say yes sir to student officials on everything, obey strict rules in every area of the institution. All right, so that's some real stuff. You implement that in your house. All right, step three is pretty much at home now, right? Your freedoms is obviously you living at home. We drive you to and from school. No money, no phone, no nights out. Christian music only. One TV show a week per week. Some pretty strict kind of rules, responsibilities they have though. Consistent obedience to parents and rules of the house. Consistent deportment of school. Deportment at school. No unexcused absence. No attempts to run away, a certain amount of GPA, weekly chores, no foul language, regular attendance at church. So it kind of has this cool little chart. Check it out if you get the book. Some ideas on how to implement some rules and some boundaries with your kids, and some freedoms, and I don't know, some ideas on that way. So yes. So that is that. King Me. Maybe we'll get into it more later on. I actually don't want to go too long today because my boy Paul's not here, man. I need my boy Paul, man. Shout out to Paul. He'll be back tomorrow, and he'll be back next week. We're going to be diving into the subject together. I'll have more time to do some show prep on the book. But I just wanted to check in with you guys because I know I said I was going to do it last week. Last week we didn't have the show, and I wanted to make sure I at least got to touch bases with you guys this week. Again, if you want to send... if you want to send us anything, any questions or any topics you want to join, please email me, allhandsondeck@gmail.com. You can message me on Facebook there, and we can chit chat there. And we want you guys to share that what's going on. We also did a video earlier this week about the importance of our prayer meetings, and I won't rehash all of that out again, but I just want to encourage everybody that our weekly prayer meetings are extremely important. We are always encouraging people to, go be part of prayer meetings to get their hearts closer to God, especially for the issue of abortion, and be part of intercession in that way. And so our prayer meetings on Facebook are a great opportunity where we stand before the throne of God and we worship Him, and we worship Him, and then we begin to declare His freedom across this nation for the unborn. So please share those videos and please be part of that. It's very easy to do that. Just click and listen and watch and pray with us. If not, you could definitely implement this in your church services and things like that. So very good stuff there. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up the show today. That's pretty much what I have for you guys, and just want to encourage you guys to keep going on, keep going strong. Let's see if here I'm gonna do this real quick, and I'm gonna cut to my boy right here.
Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
I love that. Don't you love that? It's Winston Churchill, baby. So I think I love it so much. I want you guys to hear it one more time. And then with that, I will see you next week.
Give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
Never give in. Let's go, baby.